what is up? It is your boy. I got me a drumstick on me. Drumstick on me. And I'm trying to do this fast because I got to eat this before it melts. Anywho, today's interview is with Poster Kid, where we talk about how he got that name Poster Kid and what it means to him. And we talk about him letting people's opinions negatively affect him in his music. You feel me? It's really good stuff, really inspirational stuff. You don't want to be missing this. And if you are here, I do not want you to like or subscribe or whatever the heck until you have watched and actually liked the interview. You feel me? You actually enjoyed yourself here, right? So without further ado, we're just going to go ahead and get right into it right now. Awesome. So we'll go ahead and just start with a little introduction. Just kind of give us your name, where you're from, and what you do.
All right. Well, my name is Zane, but I go by Poster Kid. And I'm actually from Hartford City, Indiana. And I just make music. I make all kinds of music. But
yeah, okay, awesome.
Yeah. But
and,
like where I live, there's nothing at all.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh shoot. Got you, man. And so how did you get that name? How did you come up with the name Poster Kid?
Actually, do you know who Poor Stacy is by any chance?
Poor Stacy. I don't think so.
Oh, he signed to Internet Money and like with all them, but I had actually went live with him a long time ago. And we were just kind of talking about music, and I had showed him some of my music and like pretty much like where I want to go with it. And then he was like, "Well, that's you." He's like, "You are the poster kid for all them kids that you're trying to help." And he's like, "That's what you need to change your name to, Poster Kid." So it just kind of stuck.
Nice. That's dope.
So
that's really cool.
I used to go by the name 3 a.m. That was my name for a minute, but
really, that's
him
cool.
saying that kind of made sense.
That's really cool. I actually have a friend who goes by 3 a.m. now, so that's really cool.
I seen a lot of people did use that name too, so I was like, I kind of want something different.
yeah, for sure. Awesome, that's dope. So how did you grow up, and how did that get you into making music?
Well, I grew up around every kind of music imaginable. Like my dad was in a band and shit for a long time. They were getting big, but drugs and all kinds of stuff kind of ruined that, you know?
Right.
But so I've started playing guitar whenever I was like pretty much like right whenever I was able to walk, I was playing a guitar. So that's kind of where it started, but I've just been very like influenced by everything, like very cultured with everything from like Waylon Jennings to Amy Winehouse to Tupac. Anything that you could think of, I listen to. Nice. So it's always just been around, always been a big part of my life. And like my family have always been like able to connect over music, what kind of music they liked, or just little stuff like that. It's just always been intertwined with my life.
Right. Awesome. That's dope. And so what was the moment where you decided you wanted to do music yourself?
Well, I was in a couple bands before, but I never realized that I could use my voice as an instrument, you know? So I would always play guitar and stuff. And then I don't even remember like what made me want to start actually using my voice like myself. But I just one day was like, you know what, I'm just going to make a song. And then I put it out and then everybody liked it. So I was like, oh, well, that's good. And then it just started evolving over time. I got better and better. And people were like, okay, you definitely have something, so you need to stick with it. And then it was just, that's whenever I realized that I like doing that, which I still do, like all my instrumentals and stuff. Like I'll make shit like that. But I just never really realized that I had the voice for it, you know? So it's kind of weird whenever I figured that out.
Right. And so what would you say are your greatest influences to the kind of music that you're making, or just in general?
My greatest like influence, whenever I really think about it, which doesn't make sense because you would never get it from my music, you know? But I think Marilyn Manson definitely has a big impact on me, just because he kind of makes people scratch their head and think, like with some of the stuff that he's saying, you know? And he doesn't really care what they say. He just wants them to think. He wants to make people use their brain, you know? Right. So it's just I don't know. I can't really relate to anything. I mean, there's obvious influences in my music, like Peep and
Mm,
X and stuff like that, but it's not like super heavy influence where people are gonna say you're totally stealing their sound and everything.
right.
It's not that at all. But there's obvious influences there. But whenever it really comes down to it, I would say that that is my biggest influence for sure.
Got you.
Just
Okay.
being different and stuff.
Right. That's dope. Awesome, man. What are some other genres you'd be interested in experimenting with?
I've been really wanting to get into like heavier stuff, like
Mm,
making some definite heavy stuff for sure.
okay.
I've dabbled in like punk, pop, everything. Like
Right.
I don't think I even have a song that you could even say has a little bit of country in it.
Mm, yeah.
But
Okay.
it's just I don't whenever I make a song, I don't even write anymore. It's pretty much just like whatever comes to me at that time. Whatever I'm listening to and however I'm feeling. That's how it is. I don't go in there saying I want to make a punk song or I want to make a trap song. It's just I just want to make a song and however it comes out is how it's supposed to come out. You
Right.
know?
Okay. Bet. Awesome. And you produce your own stuff, I imagine, or
Yeah, I
okay.
produce a majority of it. I have some people that will help me out with it, but I don't know what I'm doing on my laptop.
Yeah.
I just
I
kind of
feel that.
turned a bunch of stuff and then it just came out sounding good. So
That's great. I feel that.
I've
So
tried
what?
watching videos and stuff. It just doesn't help. It just confuses me more. So
Yeah.
I just
True.
mess around.
Bet. So what would you say would be the reason why you do music? Like why
Pretty
music?
I think at first it was more of a me thing. It kind of helped me because I never have been one to talk about things.
Mm,
So at first it started off with it was kind of like I was had a story and I was telling people how I was feeling. Which I mean it still is like that, but now I've realized it's more for whoever has the headphones in. So
right.
if it can help the kid who's listening then that's amazing. Like that's a big part of it. And I had one show one time, and at the end of the show, a kid came up to me and he was like, he gave me a shirt, and then he was like, I had like a really bad week, and one of the biggest things that kept me going was knowing that you were about to release a song. And I was like, that was kind of cool. And then he also went on to tell me like he's been like really depressed and stuff. And actually, my last song I put out was not even about me at all. It was about that kid. He told
Oh
me
wow.
like he was like really struggling and like one thing was going to push him over the edge where he thinks he would have just taken himself out. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was just it was kind of an eye opener like to me because I realized whenever I put out a song, it's no longer my song anymore. It's whoever's listening to it. It's their song. You know what I mean? They're listening to it for them. They're not listening to it to hear how I feel. They're
Right.
listening to it because it makes them feel a type of way. You know?
Mm,
So I think
that's good
that's a
stuff.
big reason why I do it now.
That's good stuff. That's awesome. So you kind of touched up a little bit on this already, but what does the creative process look like for you? With just making these songs.
It just depends on however I'm feeling that day, really. I will go through about a million beats. I'll have something in my head and then I probably won't even record anything.
Mhm.
But and then sometimes it's just like it snaps and I'm like, okay, I gotta record this. But it's just I'll go through things and I'll feel a certain type of way. I could make a song on it, but it's not gonna be as like raw and real as what I think it could be. So I'll just continue on. But what was I getting ready to say with that? It just kind of depends on however I'm feeling. I just will go through some stuff and then record it. And sometimes like I do get like caught up where I can't hardly record anything. And so
Mm,
that's whenever I kind of push myself to record something that I normally wouldn't, even if I'm
okay.
never going to put it out, just to kind of break that, you know? Like it
Right.
could be just something stupid, like a funny song or something, just to kind of
Mhm.
break through the ice of being stuck, you know?
For
But it
sure.
all just depends on how I'm feeling right then and there.
Okay. Got you. And so, what would you like to accomplish with the music?
I mean, I would just want to be able to break the surface of everything and just be able to get definitely a lot more recognition than what I have, and then have all these other people realize that, you know, I'm not
Right.
just like making shitty music out of a basement somewhere. It's like real life stuff, and like everything that is in my music is real, like it's real life. But
Yeah.
I just kind of want to be able to have a voice so that my listeners can have a voice, or like have someone that they look up to that is pretty much speaking what they're thinking, but they feel like
Right.
they don't have a voice. They're not loud enough for anybody to hear. So I'm pretty much the poster kid for those people who feel like they don't have a voice. I think that'd be
That's
pretty
awesome.
cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. So far, are there any regrets you have when it comes to your journey?
Yeah, I think that kind of like, I mean, there's been stuff that I've realized, like especially in like a small town, you cannot get recognition in a small town. Like with the people around you, they will not recognize you for anything. So they'll actually, pretty much people that you actually know while you're doing something like this, and you see that you're starting to get traction and you're starting to gain a following, they'll start to not like you really, because just because they know you personally, and
Right.
I don't know what it is in their head. They just don't like seeing that kind of stuff. But I think my biggest regret was, for a while I was really kind of down, because I was like, well, why isn't anybody, like some of my friends and shit like that, not liking this or kind of putting me down for it? My biggest regret is letting that bother me, for sure. Like out of everything, that's my biggest regret. And like listening to what people had to say, that was negative. That's a big
Right.
regret I have.
Mm, got you.
But I've
That's
definitely
great.
changed that a lot, because I've realized that the people who believe in me, or the people that care, outweigh the people who are going to hate.
Right.
So there for a while, it definitely did mess with me a little bit, because I just felt like everybody was at my neck for it. But I just learned to just shrug my shoulders and move on from it.
Awesome. Yeah. Hell yeah. That's great. What message do you want to give to your listeners?
Well, with like anybody that is listening to my music, I just want them to realize that even if you are having a bad day or anything could change. Like literally anything could change, and you can just like move on from any horrible thing that's going on in your life. Like it could be the worst situation ever, and you can still make light of it, you know?
Mm,
And there could be a kid who's been having a lot going on at home, and something as simple as stubbing his toe could be enough to make him just cut his wrist and bleed out and die. It's
mm,
just shit like that. I
yeah.
just would like people to realize that you got to stick it out just a little bit longer, and then realize that there is more to life than just horrible stuff happening. Even if in the middle of a horrible situation, there's a little bit of good in it, you know,
Mm,
no matter what it is, there's
right.
always going to be something good in that.
For sure. For sure. What are some other things that you're into besides doing music?
I pretty much, I skate. I don't know. I just kind of hang out.
Yeah.
I mean, there's obvious interests. I just can't really think of them right now. Just
Yeah.
because I've
Okay.
been pretty much all I do is I work and then I make music. That's pretty
Mm,
much it. I don't really even have time to do a lot of other stuff.
right.
But
Yeah. I feel that.
I don't know. I like skating, and I don't know. I just like hanging out with the friends. I
That,
actually
that,
do
that-
hunt. I hunt and stuff. So
oh, nice. That's
yeah,
cool.
I do all kinds of stuff.
That's cool, man. So, what do you hope people get out of your life, just in general?
Uh, well, I kind of want me to be an example of, because there's been a lot that has happened in my life, like a lot. And if you want to talk about that, we can. But
Yeah. I
there's a
mean,
lot
shoot. If you
there.
want to talk about it, you know, the floor is yours.
But it's just I've just kind of grew up around all kinds of stuff like drugs and alcohol. That's always been a heavy thing in my life, always. And I know that there's other people that go through that, but they don't think that, like, nobody knows exactly what they're thinking. You know what I mean? Like, you never think that someone else is feeling what you're feeling or thinking what you're thinking. You think you're the only person with that original thought, but you're not. You're really not. And I had a problem with that for a while too, because I felt like that. I was like, there's no way that anybody else is having these thoughts that I am. I am the only person in the world.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what made me realize that. Or maybe it was me making music and then kids, like other people saying that to me, like, okay, you kind of helped me out. I was going through this and then this song, blah, 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 blah. I think that kind of clicked in me. I didn't realize it while I was making music that that's what I was doing. And then someone had said something to me like, you pretty much just described what's going on in my life. When I was under the impression I just made this song and I'm the only one that feels like this ever. And then this kid just tells me he just went through the same thing. But I just kind of want people to be able to look up to kind of me even just talking and saying, like, I've been through that same shit and you're gonna be fine. Like, I will be fine. You're gonna be fine. Like, no matter what goes on, you're gonna be all right. I just don't want people to kind of get in their head about everything, and I want them to be able to see that they're not the only person that is going through that. There's me and a million other people. The person sitting next to you is probably feeling like that. You just kind of got to speak up. So I just want people to kind of use their brain and be able to use their voice for whatever they're going through.
For sure. That's great, man. That's great. What would you say would be your 5-year plan in terms of the music wise, but then also personally?
My 5-year plan, like in the future,
Right. hmm
what do I think? Can you repeat that?
So it'd be what would be your 5-year plan in terms of music? Like music wise, where do you want to be in 5 years? And then personal life, would you want to be in 5 years?
In 5 years, I definitely want to be well off, and
Mm.
I think that I think for sure in 5 years, I'm going to be like, I just have a feeling that it's just bound to happen. There's no way it can't, you know? I don't mean to sound like that, but,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
no, you
you
good.
kind of got to think that about yourself. You
For
feel
sure.
bad for thinking that kind of stuff about yourself, but you have to, because who else is going to do that besides yourself?
Right.
But I definitely will see myself probably just like exactly where I want to be, what I like, well off. I have a giant fan base. I got people listening to me, and I'm have a living off of just music. I don't have to work a shitty job forever. I'm
Right.
able to do what I love while also helping other people and making a living off of it, and probably like my family and stuff. I would like to help out every single person in my family that deserves it with
Mm.
music. Like that, definitely with music and stuff, the amount of different money and options you can get from it, you can help out
Yep.
a great amount of people. And I would just scoop up my entire family and help every single one of them out.
That's
Just
great.
because I know that not, they're kind of, they would rather be better off and then not have to deal with any of that shit either.
Right. Yeah. Awesome, man. That's great. And what would you say about personal life?
Like, what do you mean? Like,
So, like, in terms of, well, how old are you right now?
I'm 19.
Okay. Oh, snap. You're 19. Shoot.
How
So,
old did you think I
yeah,
was?
bro, I don't know why I thought you were older. I thought you were like 23, maybe. Like,
Really?
yeah, that's that's crazy. 19? That's insane. You're my brother's age, actually. My brother's age. Yeah, he's 19 as well. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Shoot. So that means, yeah, 24. So at 24, what kind of person would you like to be? Is the question.
At 24, if everything does 100% be a better person, I know that like a lot of people in my family are kind of worried about me kind of breaking the surface and getting bigger,
Mm.
just because of the reputation of drugs and stuff. And in this industry, that's a very heavy thing. People feed that stuff to you just so you'll like them. So I think they're kind of worried about that, but I have a very strong mindset. Like, I've been offered stuff all the time, but I just reject it just because I have a really strong mindset when it comes to that stuff. But I think I would just like to be able to better my mental health and everything like that, and the way I think of myself. I think by then I definitely would be able to think of myself in a little bit of a better way than what I already do, just because I realized what I did, and I wouldn't have to like doubt myself anymore, just because I had already been there and made it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that my problems, my issues with myself would definitely be a lot better than what they are, you know?
Awesome. That's great, man.
Which I think that would affect the people around me too, because them seeing me dealing with that with myself, they would be happy to see me happy, you know?
Right.
So
Yeah, for sure. Awesome, man. So that pretty much covers all the generic questions, the general questions. Now, usually after the interviews, I do have 2 to 3 random questions that kind of really just don't have to do with anything, just to see what comes out.
okay.
So we're gonna go ahead and go through that right now.
I'm scared.
Yeah. It's always fun. It's always fun. What would be the most outlandish dream or goal that you have?
Probably I'd like to own a lot of like restaurants.
Okay.
That'd be cool. I feel like, or like cafes and shit like that. That'd be cool. I feel like I could definitely do some cool stuff with that. Incorporate that and music, have like almost like a, I would definitely be able to do that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that sounds dope. Hell yeah, that's great. What is your favorite color and why?
I don't want to sound cliche like a little emo boy, but black. Even if people say that's not a color, I like black. Gray's cool too. I like red and gray.
Yeah,
But
okay.
I mean, my whole wardrobe's pretty much black, besides this shirt that I'm wearing right now.
Right. Which still
Everything else on me right now is completely black.
That's dope. And so why do you think you like black so much?
It just goes with everything.
Bro,
You cannot find one thing that doesn't go with black.
Yes, that is literally my exact reasoning. My favorite color is also black, and it's exactly that.
You can't find anything that doesn't go with black whatsoever. And
It's
I was
crazy.
I was with my dad the other day, and I was like picking up some clothes or something like that, and he just like looked at me, and I was wearing like black head to toe, and the clothes that I was getting were all black, and he goes, "What the fuck? Are you like completely gothic or something? Why don't you get something other than black?" And I was like, I didn't even realize I was doing it while I was doing it. I just like black.
That's hilarious. Last question. If you were to turn into a flower, which one would you be?
A flower?
Yes.
Shit. I don't know. I'd be like, fuck. That's actually a really hard question.
Yeah.
First of all, it's hard because there's so many flowers and I only know a couple.
Exactly.
I don't know. Does it have to be a flower, or could it be like a plant?
You can give me a plant.
I'd be like poison ivy because I'd fuck people's whole day up because they're grabbing me. They just break out everywhere. I would be poison ivy for sure.
Poison ivy, bet. That's great.
The only thing that came to my head whenever you said flower was a rose, because that's like the only flower I know. Yeah, and I didn't want to sound basic by just saying a rose.
Yeah, 2 basic answers in a row. We can't do that.
No, hell no.
Awesome, man. Well, yeah, that pretty much covers everything, man. I don't know if there's anything else you want to say before we wrap things up for tonight.
Not really. I think we
Awesome.
covered a lot.
Awesome, man. That was great. Yeah, man. So I appreciate you coming on tonight. Thank you for your time. Thank you for coming on.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was awesome.
Yo, thank you so much for making it this far into the interview. I'm going to be leaving Poster Kid's links somewhere around here so y'all can go mess with his music, mess with his social media, you feel me? Go support the kid. No pun intended. Anywho, so many daily uploads, so you don't want to be missing out on these. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like and subscribe and all that good stuff and whatever, you feel me? Y'all know what to do. All right, so I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. I'm gonna see y'all on the next one. All right, peace.